We're back to pretty much where it all began, or where it all began for me, back here in your yard. But now I'm actually here in person instead of on FaceTime, so that's a start.
Yeah, where we're at. You might recognize this place from such episodes as DIALED Season 2, Episode 2. It's my backyard again. I don't know how many of you have seen the news, but Santa Cruz is struggling right now. There's fires everywhere. There was a freak lightning storm on Saturday evening, and it ignited fires all over California. It was already dry and hot. I think it was 107 degrees here last Saturday. All those amazing trees and forests that make trail riding so amazing are also kind of a tinderbox, and now they're mostly gone. Friends' houses have been destroyed. People are displaced. We've got family staying here, so it's kind of a mess inside. It's a mess everywhere all the time anyway, but we have employees that are evacuated. We have employees up there trying to save their homes. Our office is evacuated, so we can't go in. We can't do anything there, which shut us down again. And I don't know, it seems strange to keep going and do another episode, but I guess we all know that kind of life goes on. And I don't know, maybe people enjoy like watching these episodes. Maybe it takes your mind off something, even though I'm rambling on about the fire. So while we can't do much in the office, we can't ride bikes, can't do most of what DIALED is about right now, I think we're gonna just talk a little bit about the planning and how it's looking for actually getting over to Europe and going racing, which is also kind of up in the air.
What's the latest on racing? It sounds like we might have some good news.
I think maybe not good news, but we don't have any bad news. Zermatt Enduro is happening happening. Right now it's scheduled to happen next week, which would be the first kind of world stage race. I struggle to call it a World Series if you can't get the world there, and you know you can't. I don't know, I'm torn between whether this should happen or whether it's just not that important. I see both sides. Like, I see people wanting to get some kind of distraction and go ride bikes, but then you also see all these spikes in Europe, you know, balancing those two things. It's tricky, and I miss it. I miss the people, I miss the job, and it's frustrating to not be able to deal with people one-on-one. And I know people still want to race, they still want to do well, and we still want to help them. But we are kind of planning a way to get into Europe. But really, my days for the last quite a while really have just been poking through government websites, looking at travel advisories, calling all the teams and even the other brands, just see if we feel comfortable doing the same thing, or whether we should just pull the plug completely.
I figured this would be a good opportunity to at least do a few questions that people asked just in the comment section of previous videos. And then, like we said, if you keep leaving those questions in the comments, hopefully we'll be able to answer those on future episodes. But one of the questions was basically saying that they'd been hearing the term downcountry lately. So what is downcountry essentially?
Shorter travel, easily pedalable, probably in the 100 to 120 range. It's just, I mean, it's kind of like an all-encompassing mountain bike. And I know people really hate on the terms of like XC, downcountry, enduro, but I find them somewhat useful, at least in like classifying a broad range. It helps people pick something. Like if you go into a shop and say, I'm looking for downcountry, they're not going to show you a downhill bike or a 180 mil trail bike. Like this is what I would consider downcountry. It's 120, 120. This is pretty aggressive geometry, like relatively slack and long, but pedals amazing and still descends like well, so you can kind of just ride it. Yeah, I don't know, it's a mountain bike.
And then someone else asked if it's bad for your suspension when you bottom it out.
That's a tough question because like the basic answer is no, but anytime you go from motion to a stop, the shorter that deceleration, the harder it is on everything, right? Like slamming on your brakes doesn't hurt you, but running into a brick wall probably does. So if you're constantly bottoming out hard, then you're probably going to do some damage. If you bottom out once in a while on the trail or race or whatever, then probably not.
And then someone else asked, how much input does Jordy have in the design of new equipment?
Ooh, honestly, probably not a whole lot. I think they use our feedback, but most companies, ours included, the engineers kind of have a long-term plan of where we're going, and I think everybody knows what needs to be done. I obviously have some input on performance and function, but they don't come to me looking for what we need for next year. My job is more making what we've got work well, if that makes sense.
So just a few quick questions there, but keep leaving questions in the comments and we'll probably keep running through some of those moving forward while we're doing these backyard videos again.